Every single person walking this earth holds within them an untapped version of themselves, stronger, braver, clearer, more prosperous. That version doesn't wait. That version doesn't question their worth. That version moves with a certainty that money responds to, that opportunity bows to, that success magnetizes toward. The millionaire version of you already exists. It's not someone you become. It's someone you remember. Someone you uncover. It is the truth of who you are when you strip away fear, doubt, and limitation. You must begin to act from that truth now, not after the money comes, not after the opportunity arrives, but before. You walk as if it's already yours. You speak as if you already own the room. You decide, you declare, and the universe echoes back your command. The millionaire version of you already exists within. This idea is not metaphorical, it's foundational. Most people think they have to chase success, evolve endlessly, or achieve certain milestones before they can be the person they dream of. But the truth is, that person is already inside you, waiting for permission to be expressed. Every time you quiet the noise of fear, every time you ignore the voices of doubt, every time you choose faith over delay, you get closer to uncovering the powerful version of yourself that has been hidden under years of conditioning, hesitation, and limiting beliefs. That millionaire self is not about flashy wealth or public attention. It is about clarity, inner authority, self-trust, and an unshakable awareness of your own worth. This version of you doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't look outward for validation. It doesn't wait for a perfect moment. It moves forward from a deep inner knowing. It speaks with conviction because it understands the weight of words. It acts with boldness because it knows hesitation creates resistance. It trusts the unseen because true power lives in faith, not evidence. To live as this version of yourself means to stop measuring your future by your past. It means deciding that circumstances do not define you. Your vision does. The world might not reflect your inner wealth yet, but that's irrelevant. The reflection always lags behind the belief. What you hold in your mind and spirit becomes the mold for what forms in your physical reality. When you believe in your own abundance before the money arrives, you create a magnetic field of energy that begins to attract people, ideas, and events that match your belief. When you show up each day as the version of you who already knows the outcome is success, you become irresistible to opportunity. This internal version of you, the millionaire self, is the one who sees through the illusion of lack. It doesn't operate from fear of not having enough. It doesn't shrink to fit other people's expectations. It doesn't bargain with destiny. Instead, it aligns with it. That version is calm in chaos, focused in distraction, and persistent in silence. It doesn't give up just because the world hasn't clapped yet. It keeps going because it knows the applause is inevitable. Most people keep the millionaire version of themselves locked behind conditions. They think, once I have the money, I'll act confident. Once I'm successful, I'll believe in myself. But this is backward. Confidence is the key, not the reward. Belief is the spark, not the byproduct. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the decision to act now as the version of yourself who already owns it. That version already lives in you. It's not someone you become one day. It's someone you unleash today. Acting as if you already have it is not a game of pretense or delusion. It's a demonstration of inner certainty. When you carry yourself with the energy of someone who already lives their vision, you bypass the limitations of waiting, doubting, or proving. Most people wait for external validation before they give themselves permission to feel successful. But the truth is, the universe responds to how you feel and behave before the evidence shows up. When you start embodying the identity of someone who already has wealth, success, and purpose, you align yourself with the frequency that creates those outcomes. Imagine walking into a room, not as someone desperate for opportunity, but as someone who already belongs in rooms of power. Imagine speaking not to impress, but to express a truth you already live by. This subtle shift changes everything. It transforms your posture, your tone, your decisions, your standards. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop reacting and begin commanding. The way you move, dress, think, speak, all of it begins to reflect a deep inner belief that what you want is already yours. This is not about arrogance or fake confidence. It's about energetic congruence. When your inner identity and your outer behavior match, you become a clear signal to the world around you. There is no confusion, no hesitation, no mixed message. The world responds to clarity. The clearer you are in your belief, the faster the results show up. When you act from a place of already having what you want, your decisions become stronger, your mindset becomes sharper, and your actions become more powerful. This mindset also removes the desperate energy that repels success. Acting as if means you stop begging, stop doubting, stop over-explaining, and start operating from knowing. Knowing that you are worthy. Knowing that what is meant for you is already on its way. Knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to receive abundance. You simply need to claim it. The moment you embody this belief, doors start to open. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Your energy is your signature. If you show up to life like a winner, life treats you accordingly. If you show up with lack, life mirrors it back. So when you act as if you are already successful, even when your bank account says otherwise, you are placing a spiritual order that the universe must fulfill. Your actions become declarations. Your mindset becomes magnetic. You are no longer hoping for results. You are expecting them. This practice requires consistency. You can't visit this identity. You must live in it. You must make decisions from it daily. When you ask yourself, what would the successful version of me do? And then you do that, it's only a matter of time before your outer world catches up. Because acting as if doesn't just bring the life you want closer. It transforms you into the person who's ready to receive it. Your thoughts, words, and beliefs shape your reality in ways far more powerful than most people ever realize. Every thought you entertain is a seed, and every word you speak waters that seed. If you are constantly thinking about what you lack, talking about your problems, and believing that success is hard to reach, you are unconsciously cultivating a life that reflects struggle and limitation. But when you consciously choose thoughts of abundance, speak words of power, and hold beliefs that affirm your worth and potential, you begin to reshape the fabric of your life. Reality doesn't just happen to you, it responds to you. Most people speak without thinking and think without awareness. They say things like, I can't afford that, nothing ever works out for me, or I'm not lucky like others, not realizing that those words become instructions. Your subconscious mind is always listening, and it believes whatever you consistently tell it. When you repeatedly declare your limitations, you reinforce them, but when you shift your language, even slightly, you start to carve out a new path. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, say, I'm creating the means to have it. Instead of I never catch a break, say, everything is aligning for me now. These are not empty affirmations. They are energetic blueprints. Belief is the foundation of every reality. You cannot receive what you don't believe is possible for you. That's why changing your beliefs is the most powerful thing you can do. The beliefs you hold about money, success, and self-worth were likely programmed into you from childhood, culture, or past experiences, but they are not set in stone. You can choose new beliefs. You can say, I am worthy of wealth, even if you've struggled your whole life. You can believe, I am a magnet for success, even if you've faced countless failures. The moment you choose to believe something new, you activate a new path. Belief creates the internal permission to move differently, think bigger, and act bolder. Your thoughts and words also carry frequency. When you think with doubt or speak with fear, you emit a signal that repels the very things you want. But when your mind is focused, your language is aligned, and your belief is firm, you radiate certainty, and certainty is magnetic. People feel it, opportunities are drawn to it, money responds to it. This is not just positive thinking, this is spiritual law. You are constantly creating through your mental and verbal habits, whether you realize it or not. So if you want to change your life, start with your thoughts. Become aware of the stories you tell yourself. Pay attention to the words you use when no one's listening. Notice what you repeatedly believe about yourself and your future. Then shift. Speak the life you want into existence. Think like someone who is already living it. Believe with a depth that allows no room for doubt, because your reality is not happening to you, it's coming from you. And you are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. Wealth starts with identity, not income. Before money can stay in your life, before opportunities can trust you, before abundance can consistently flow to you, you must first become the person who naturally attracts and holds it. People often believe that if they just make more money, their problems will go away, but income alone doesn't transform your reality. It may offer temporary relief, but unless your identity, the core belief you hold about yourself, aligns with wealth, the money will eventually slip through your fingers or bring even more chaos. That's because the external world always reflects the internal one. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. This is why two people can receive the same amount of money and have completely different outcomes. One might invest, expand, and elevate their life. The other might overspend, sabotage, or feel anxious despite having more. The difference isn't in the money, it's in the mindset and self-image. Wealthy people don't just have more resources, they see themselves as worthy of those resources. They carry an energy of sufficiency, not scarcity. They feel secure, not because of their bank balance, but because their identity is rooted in abundance, not fear. When your identity says, I am wealthy, I am capable, I am worthy of more, your thoughts and behaviors naturally align with growth. You'll begin to make decisions that protect your peace, grow your potential, and attract higher-level experiences. You'll treat money with respect, not fear. You'll stop chasing quick fixes and start building lasting foundations. But when your identity says, I'm broke, I always mess things up, or wealth is for other people, you unconsciously repel prosperity. Even if money finds you, you'll feel unprepared, undeserving, or unsafe having it. The shift starts with awareness. You must begin to see yourself differently before the world reflects it. This means you no longer identify with your past mistakes or current struggles. You no longer tie your worth to your circumstances. You decide, internally and daily, that you are someone who can receive, hold, and expand wealth. You speak to yourself with respect. You act with intention. You build habits that support the identity of a wealthy person, not because the money is already there, but because you're becoming someone who welcomes it in. This kind of inner shift changes how you show up in every area of life. You stop tolerating what drains you. You start choosing what elevates you. You stop playing small. You start making bold, aligned decisions. You build boundaries, not walls. You learn to say no with confidence and yes with discernment. And all of this stems from your identity, not your income. So when you want more in life, don't just look at the numbers. Look at the mirror. Ask yourself, who am I being today? Because wealth is not something you chase. It is something you become, and the world always pays those who know who they are. To embody the energy of success means to become a living expression of the vibration you wish to attract. Success is not something that randomly lands on a lucky few. It is a frequency, a mental and emotional state, a way of showing up long before anything external confirms your arrival. People who live in alignment with success don't wait for signs, applause, or validation. They move from an inner certainty that says, I am already it. They walk into the room with presence, they carry themselves with assurance, they speak with clarity, their energy arrives before their words do, and that energy is what draws success toward them, almost effortlessly. This energetic embodiment is not about pretending or putting on a show, it's about authenticity at a higher level. It means feeling the emotions of success even when the evidence isn't there yet. Acting as if you are successful is one thing. Being successful in your energy, your tone, your rhythm, your choices, that's what changes the game. When you embody success, you become a beacon. You attract people, ideas, and circumstances that resonate with your elevated state. The universe doesn't respond to desperation or doubt. It responds to alignment. The energy you hold consistently becomes the signal you send out, and the results that show up will always match that frequency. Most people think they need to hustle harder, do more, or struggle longer to be successful. But true success flows to those who already feel worthy of it. That worthiness is not built through external achievements. It is an internal decision when you choose to feel successful now. Through your posture, your thoughts, your words, and your attitude, you collapse the distance between your desire and its arrival. You stop needing to prove anything. You stop looking outside yourself for confirmation. You become the source of your own power. Embodying success means shifting how you speak to yourself. You replace inner criticism with inner encouragement. You stop speaking about your life like a victim and begin speaking like a visionary. You say things like, I am ready. I've already won. Everything is working for me. Not because you're ignoring challenges, but because you're refusing to energize limitations. You speak from the version of yourself who's already standing in the result, and by doing so, you begin to match the vibration of the reality you seek. It also means changing how you make decisions. You no longer choose from fear or lack. You choose from clarity and intention. You stop second guessing yourself because you trust your inner compass. Success becomes less about proving and more about expressing. You become grounded, focused, and emotionally stable. You are no longer easily shaken by delays or obstacles because you are rooted in something deeper than the physical. You're rooted in a truth you've already claimed. That embodiment becomes a magnet. Success recognizes itself. When you embody the energy of success, you send a clear message, I am already who I've been waiting to become, and life responds accordingly. Deciding who you are and living it daily is the foundation of all transformation. Most people delay stepping into their power because they are waiting for the right moment, the right amount of money, the right opportunity, or the right approval. But that moment never comes until you make the decision. Life doesn't hand you your identity, you choose it, and the moment you do, the world begins to rearrange itself to match that decision. It doesn't start with results, it starts with your internal declaration, this is who I am now. When you decide you are powerful, successful, and worthy, your thoughts change. Your behavior changes, your energy changes, and everything that enters your reality shifts in response. This decision must be made from the inside out. It is not a reaction to circumstances, but a conscious choice in spite of them. You decide to be the version of yourself who leads instead of follows, who acts instead of waits, who commands instead of pleads. That version of you doesn't ask if they're ready. They decide they are. That version of you doesn't shrink in the face of uncertainty. They grow. You don't wait to feel confident to become the successful version of yourself. You become that version, and the confidence follows. Your daily habits, thoughts, and choices either reinforce the old you or support the new one. So, every day you are voting for the version of yourself you wish to embody. Consistency is everything. You cannot claim to be powerful in the morning and speak doubt over your life by evening. You cannot visualize abundance for 5 minutes and then worry about lack for the rest of the day. The decision must be lived moment to moment. You must become vigilant with your identity as if it were sacred, because it is. When fear shows up, you remind yourself, that's not who I am anymore. When the old patterns try to return, you declare, I don't live there now. This is how you protect the integrity of your decision. You don't just make it once. You make it over and over again until it becomes who you are without effort. Living your decision daily means showing up even when it's inconvenient. It means holding your standards even when no one else is watching. It means thinking, acting, and speaking from the place of your highest self, not your wounded self. That version of you already knows the direction. It already has the wisdom. It already understands that life mirrors what you believe and embody. So the more you live from that identity, the more naturally you begin to attract the people, places, and events that match it. This process is not about perfection. It's about alignment. Each time you choose the version of you who is already successful, already capable, already abundant, you are rewiring your reality. You are making your inner world stronger than your outer one. And eventually, the outer must bend to match the power of your decision. You're not just hoping for change, you're becoming it every single day.